Good evening, everyone. So, as a part of a social issue presentation, so I have chosen police misconduct and violence addressing a racial prejudice topic. So, this study delves into the issue of a how police misconduct and the violence which has happened in the US for the particular focus on its connection to racial prejudice. So, by examining the various sources, including scholarly publications and media reports, our research seeks to contribute on the following disclosure on the enforcement reform. Introduction. So, the US has a long grappled with the pervasive problem of police misconduct and violence, so resulting in the widespread of a public outrage and vehement calls for reform. So, this study aims to explore the multifaceted dimensions of this issue, especially within the context of racial prejudice. So, by providing a comprehensive understanding of the underlying causes and far-reaching consequences of these incidents, so we can forge a path towards a meaningful change. So, historical context, so legacy of slavery and segregation. To comprehend the historical roots of police misconduct, so we must examine the enduring impact of slavery, Jim Crow laws, and racial segregation. So these injustices have left an indelible mark on modern policing practices and impact on modern policing. So the lasting impact of historical injustice underscores the urgent need to address this legacy and its profound influence on contemporary policing tactics. So, by acknowledging these historical foundations, we can make a significant strides towards eradicating and prejudice and discrimination within the law enforcement. And prevalence of the police misconduct. So it would be in the various types like statistical analysis, racial disparities, prominent cases, underreporting, unaccounted incidents. So first, statistical analysis. Through rigorous statistical analysis, this section will examine the current instant of police misconduct and violence. So by leveraging the data from reputable sources, so we shed a light on the prevalence and scope of this pervasive issue. And next is racial disparities within the law enforcement. Racial disparities persist in the use of a police a force and interaction with the marginalized communities. So this section scrutinizes these disparities and exposing the deeply ingrained racial bias within the criminal justice system. And next, the prominent cases. So highlighting the highlighting high profile incidents, uh, we underscore the urgent need for systematic change. By examining these cases, we emphasize the critical systemic change. So, by examining these cases, we emphasize the critical nature of addressing police misconduct and violence at both the individual and institutional levels. And next is underreporting and unaccounted incidents. Many incidents of police misconduct go unreported and unaccounted for, rendering the full extent of the problem problem underestimated. This section deals into the challenges associated with the underreporting and the pressing need for improved documentation and transparency. Next, causes of police misconduct. So first is systemic problems and influence of bias and prejudice and organizational culture. So systematic problems, examining the systemic issues that contribute to police misconduct. We uncover factors such as inadequate training, lack of accountability, and the concerning militarization of police forces. Next is influence of bias and prejudice. We delve into how bias and prejudice infiltrate law enforcement, influencing a police behavior, and uh, exacerbating disparities in the application of justice. Next is organizational culture. Police department often foster the organizational cultures that perpetuate misconduct. This section explores the role of organizational culture in enabling and preventing a misconduct and its implement implications for reform effects. And the next is racial discrimination and police brutality. So, and there's link between the racial prejudice and police wrongdoing. So, building upon the seminal work, embedded hate, violence, and racial discrimination by the U.S. police, we delve into the undeniable connection between racial prejudice and police misconduct. By examining this link, we aim to inspire a comprehensive reform and justice. Disproportionate use of force. So we examine the troubling pattern of disproportionate use of force against minority groups, shedding light on the profound implications and injustices faced by the marginalized communities. And next is impact of profiling. So racial profiling perpetuates injustice and exact exacerbates inequalities among underprivileged groups. This section explores the determined detrimental impact of profiling and calls for measures to eliminate its uh, prevalence. And next is bias. Implicit bias, deeply ingrained in society, can influence the police actions. So we discuss the strategies for addressing the implicit bias within law enforcement. Promoting a fairness and equal treatment for all the individuals. And next is consequences of police brutality. The first one is physical and psychological suffering. And next, erosion of trust. We discuss how incidents of police misconduct erode the trust between the law and the enforcement agencies and communities, exacerbating existing social divisions and hindering effective crime prevention. And next is legal and financial ramifications, addressing the legal and financial consequences faced by the police departments implicated in misconduct cases. We examine the importance of accountability in restoring the public confidence. And next is community trauma. Police misconduct can traumatize entire communities, uh, perpetuating fear and unrest. This section explores the long term impact on affected communities and advocates for healing and support. And the next is reform effects and solutions. So, planned reforms, role of grassroots movements, accountability systems, and training and de-escalation techniques. These are the efforts which and the solutions. So, first is planned reforms. In this, we outlined the planned reforms ranging from changes to use of a force regulations to implementation of body-worn cameras and community policing initiatives. And next is accountability systems. So in this, we emphasize the significance of robust accountability system and citizen oversight mechanisms in holding a law enforcement accountable for their actions and ensuring the transparency. And next is role of grassroots movements. Grassroots movements and advocacy organizations play a vital role in advancing the reform agenda. So we examine their contributions and the importance of collective action. Next is training and de-escalation techniques. Comprehensive training in de-escalation techniques and conflict resolution should be integrated into law enforcement education to promote a peaceful and effective community policing. And next is future outlook. So, potential outcomes of reform, education, and community involvement, broader implications for social justice. So, first is potential outcomes of reform, and analysis of the potential outcomes of ongoing reform effects, including their impact on policing practices and community relations. Education and active community participation are vital in addressing the root causes of police misconduct and fostering a mutual understanding and trust. And broader implications for social justice. This section discusses the broader implications for social justice and racial equity in the United States, emphasizing the interconnectedness and intersectionality of these issues. Conclusion. So, in this study, it will highlight the urgent need for fundamental reform within the American law enforcement to address the hate, violence, and racial prejudice. Ongoing research, advocacy, and public engagement are crucial in creating a more just and equitable society where individuals can trust a law enforcement for their safety and protection. That's it. Thank you.